Good evening. Welcome to today's topic of gray literature. Now, a lot of you may be wondering what exactly gray literature is. The term has been beaten into your heads for the past 8 weeks, and yet you still have no idea what the term means. Well, hopefully this presentation will give you a better idea of what it is, why it's important, and where do we as information students fit in. To start, what is gray literature? Based on my research, I have come to understand that gray literature is any type of information from a non-commercial professional organization, which basically are organizations that aren't making a profit from the information they are producing and distributing. Gray literature is important because it contains information from professionals that could be found anywhere. It's free, easily accessible, and is available not only for people with more specialized interests, but for a more generalized audience as well. Since experts work on certain subjects commonly, the gray literature they produce or post changes, gets fixed, or gets updated on a regular basis. So you get speedy results and expert information. Also, Posted literature allows peer reviewers to examine and edit the work and make it ready for professional publication. A little earlier, we discussed that gray literature could be found anywhere. We've all come across gray literature. Any of us who's ever looked in wikis, news sites, health information, websites, arts and research institutes, we have all looked at gray literature. Within a lot of these sites, the various types of literature you can find are conference papers, data sets, tables, newsletters, archival materials, patents, registries. Almost anything you look at on the internet from a non-commercial organization is gray literature. So now that you have a better understanding of what gray literature is, we need to figure out how to narrow it down. Why, you ask? Well, we might need to research a particular topic, or for leisure, we might be interested about something and want to know more about it. In that case, you need to know your resources. Let's say you're a student in physics or just plain interested in it and want to learn more. Well, you can do a simple Google search, or you can use a LibGuide. Here's an example of a LibGuide. As you can see, this page provides a lot of key resources related to the study of physics. So, my advice would be to look at other web guides and play around with them. What you can also use is regular search databases like Bing or Google. Let's just take a look at the kinds of literature we can find on Google. So as you can see, I'm searching for collection management. As you can see, a lot of my results come from academic libraries. Here's a page from the University of Iowa libraries. This page gives you directories, guidelines, and committee information. Another good site to use would be the ALA's collection management page. And here you'll find a resource guide of all kinds of collection management tools. So another way to find Gray literature is through a Google search. Other ways in which you can search Gray literature is to develop a search strategy. With any good search, you should be able to utilize database tools such as coordinating the date or using relevancy ranks to make sure you get the best information possible. Also, you should research an author or organization to avoid biases in the information. Down below are a list of videos that will help you find resources and learn about the databases that you can use to find this type of information. In this slide, I list several well-known resources for locating Gray literature. The first site here is clinicaltrials.gov, and this is a site full of resources and studies about issues in the medical industry. The second site is GrayNet International, and it's a site that contains newsletters, articles, journals, conferences, presentations, and an information repository full of abstracts and guidelines about good practice. The International Conference on Gray Literature provides access to conferences. It gives you links to newsletters, publications, and videos, all to help you get further educated in the subject of Gray literature. Another source is Conference Alerts, which gives you access to conferences worldwide. And if you're interested in medicine, you can use Gray Matters, which contains a list of Gray literature resources. So these are just some sources you could use. While a lot of these resources are useful, a lot of people feel there is a danger to using this information, mainly because a lot of people feel it is inaccurate, mainly due to the fact a lot of it is not peer-reviewed. Also, a lot of it is considered very hard to find and offers no real relevance to research. However, I am going to argue that Gray literature is very important to the information process because it is continually Gray trialed, and the fact that it is helps, as mentioned before, give you quicker peer-reviewed results. Also, much of the information is free, current, up-to-date, and is written by experts, so a lot of it is in fact accurate. Since Gray literature is important, libraries need to be on top of this growing trend. Since we are the information providers, it is our duty to research it and make sure users are getting the best results out of our efforts. Therefore, librarians must be active in working together and educating ourselves. We need to gain experience, constantly train on the job, and install MLIS courses in the study of Gray literature. As of now, we as librarians have not really taken responsibility to come together and teach each other. Most of us in library school barely even know the term. Recent studies indicate that 26% of library students even know how to define the term. To me, this shows that MLIS programs need to find ways to communicate with each other and propose a universally accepted method to teach gray literature. Personally, I feel it is important for the library and information sector to get together because the entire infrastructure is changing, and I think gray literature is a major factor in that change. Therefore, we should be prepared and be ahead of the trend. With change, there will be new demands of the patron. Again, a lot of this is due to gray literature. To be ready, the librarian must be creative in finding new ways to implement gray literature as part of their services. To do this, the librarian should evaluate the best methods for implementing gray literature in the library. They should also constantly remind their users which sources are gray literature. Also, they should form groups that are active in documenting their coworkers' efforts in evaluating gray literature. Peer reviewing should also continue. The more you remove the biases, the more the gray literature can be trusted. We should market gray literature try to make our implementation services as known as possible. Another important factor is storing gray literature to highlight the importance of it. Therefore, we as librarians should support repositories designed to store this information. Again, to further develop our knowledge, we should implement MLIS courses in gray literature. The last 2 points actually relate. First, we should be aware of certain legal issues that might come up when using gray literature for our services. Mainly, the issue is copyright protection. Therefore, people in the information profession need to come together and discuss which information can be used or can't be used. This hopefully will develop less controversy over the issue of copyright. So, in light of this discussion, I hope that you understand that gray literature can be found just about anywhere, in anything or in any format from non-commercial enterprises. I hope you remember it is important for research because it allows the reviewer to mine biases, thus allowing certain work to be published quicker. But when searching for it, remember to develop a search strategy and know the best sources for locating it. I gave you a ton of sources throughout the slides. However, it is important you be aware of the biases, so always check for updates on a certain source. I also think it is important to remember that the library profession today should take more responsibility to learn about gray literature, which brings me to my next point. Strategize and be active in this trend. It is already a major source of information and will continue to be. I thank you for your time, and I hope this lecture was at least informative to you.